Welcome, and for this demonstration on how to use Excel to solve some of the common functions you will need to use in order to complete your statistics course. This demonstration is done on Excel 2010. Your version of Excel might be a little bit different, but for the most part, this should be a good guide to help you work through any of the other versions of Excel you might have. For any function you will do for Excel, you're going to first begin by clicking on the cell where you want your answer to appear. In this case, I want my answer to appear next to mean, because I'm going to calculate the mean, and underneath the data that I'm going to find the mean of. Once I have clicked on the empty cell, I'm going to click on f of x, and that will allow me to insert the mean function into Excel. I then have the choice of selecting a category of functions. I'm always going to go to statistical, because that is the course that we are in. We're going to click on statistical function. And for mean, Excel does not name it mean, it names it average. So I'm going to click on average. Then I'm going to click on OK. And another box is going to appear. I'm going to click on this box right here, which is going to minimize my new window. And I'm going to highlight these cells that I want to take the average of by clicking on the first cell and dragging down to the last cell in the series. I'm then going to click on this box again and click OK. I now have calculated the mean or average of this data as 16. To calculate median, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to begin by clicking on the empty cell next to median and underneath my data, clicking on f of x. I am already in statistical since that was the last area I chose, and I'm going to drag down to find median. Click on median, and the rest of the steps are the same as finding the mean. I'm going to click on this small box here to minimize my new window, and I'm going to highlight the cells that I want to find the median of. And I'm going to click OK. And you can see that the mean and median of the data is the same. For mode, I will continue doing the same thing. Click f of x after I have chosen the empty cell next to mode and underneath my data. I'm going to scroll down and find the mode multiple and the mode single. I'm going to use the mode single. Click OK. I'm going to click the little box to minimize my new window, highlight the data, and click this box and click OK. Now you can see that it says NA because there is no mode. Each of these data points appear exactly once. If I were to change 14 to 15, you can see how my mean changes and the mode also changes to 15. I'm going to change this back to 14. Now I need to find the standard deviation. There are two standard deviations. One is for sample and one is for a population. You would choose the correct standard deviation depending on what numbers you are working with, whether it is a sample or whether it is the population. Again, I'm going to click on the empty cell next to standard deviation underneath the data I want to find the information for. Click on f of x. I already am in statistical. Scroll down to standard deviation. Since I want to find the standard deviation sample, I'm going to click on stdev.s. This is one of the things that is going to be different depending on which version of Excel you are looking at, but it should be relatively close. Click on OK. One more time, click on this box to minimize the window, highlight the data, and click OK. Continue the process for standard deviation of the population. Click on f of x. Already am in statistical. Scroll down to standard deviation of the population and click OK and OK again. Now if you notice, I did something wrong here because I have a standard deviation of a 0. Now the first thing I look at when I see that I did something wrong is I'm going to go up to the formula bar. And I see that I had the standard deviation population, which I did correctly, but I forgot to highlight the cells that I want to find the standard deviation of. There are two ways to fix this. I could click on this cell, click on f of x, and insert the correct function. Or, what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to see that C19 is underneath column C, next to 19, and here is the box. It is highlighted in blue. That is what I found the standard deviation for the population of, only the cell. I'm going to click on this box, I should say I'm going to click here, and I'm going to highlight this. And now I'm going to highlight the data that I wanted to have. You can see how the numbers change here. Once I have highlighted it and I have the correct data selected, I'm going to click the Enter key, and now my standard deviation of the population is now correct. To find the same information for this column of data and this column of data, I could repeat the process that I did for all of column C, but it's much quicker to do this. I'm going to highlight all of the answers that I have already done, and I'm going to click and drag on this small black box in the lower left hand corner. And to do that, I'm going to move my cursor until it becomes a small black plus sign. I'm going to click and drag it over, and now I have calculated the mean, median, mode, standard deviations of column D. I'm now going to do that again for column E. Now, there's a small problem with column E. If you look, when I click in this cell, it has copied the formula just like it did for column D. However, when I click here, I can see that it copied the formula exactly as it was for C and D, in that it only selected the first 5 data points and ignored these. To fix this, I could click on f of x and insert a brand new function, but it's much easier to click on this, click it in the formula bar where I get the blue box, and I'm going to grab a corner of the blue box and drag it down to highlight all the data that I wanted. Click the Enter key, and it will adjust the formula, or the answer I should say. To fix the median, you can see that it's only selecting the cells E5 through an E9. I want to go all the way down to 14, so I'm going to grab a corner and drag it down, click Enter. For mode, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click here, grab the box, drag it down, click Enter. For standard deviation sample, click up here, grab a corner, drag it down, click Enter, and last one, and click Enter. All the formulas that you use for Excel are going to be done in a similar way, and I hope this is helpful.